welcome back to the LEC ahead of BDS versus Vitality. And before going on with what I was supposed to say, I really want to check on what BDS cooked for us today for the intro. Okay, outside the studio. Okay, they're facing off against Vitality, so I'm thinking some kind. Oh, okay, that's it. Well.
I wish I could hear what he said.
Yeah,
I have no idea what the joke was.
I'll catch up with this on socials, but as I was saying, the next game features two teams that have already locked their spot in the group stage, but are fighting for seeding. Let's take a look at the standings here to see where we are so far. Excel is out, of course, we talked about this with the Auto Amne interview. But yeah, BDS and Vitality in a really good position so far, locked yesterday. Let's talk about this game, because I didn't think I would say this coming into this season, but I'm really, really hyped about this matchup, GB.
Yeah, exactly, because Team Vitality right now, one victory over BDS. You get the victory today, at least you secure a tie in the standings there, and then it's the last day that can decide everything. So I really feel like for BDS, lots of stakes here. And of course, for Vitality, you want to continue with the rest of them, moving up towards that first place. And as Caedrel will say, they can lock first until yesterday or tomorrow.
First or second place, that allows you to choose your first round opponent in the bracket stage. So you love to see that position right now, looking really good for G2 Madden Vitality.
Very, very important indeed. But let's still keep on praising the BDS bot lane. GB, this is something we talked about on the desk yesterday. One of the best in the LEC maybe we have right now, but what made them so good?
I said that going into the bot lane matchup against Mickey and Hans, because I feel like Mickey and Hans would have the edge. But then we got into the game itself, and it was not really them who actually had the edge. It was on Labrov and Crownie. And I think Labrov and Crownie, just in terms of how they've been playing the first 3 waves in general and their theory behind what they want to do, has been absolutely incredible. I also think that mechanics is absolutely supreme from Crownie, and he's displayed it multiple times.
So good. I mean, the juke back into the brush. Labrov also holding on to his heal until after the ignite had ticked away, so we got full value out of the healing, knowing they could find this re-engage too, because up until that sort of juke, it looked like Hansama and Mickey were playing it almost flawlessly, but then after they got those opening 2 kills, they just continued to try and steamroll bot lane. It was just unfortunate. The top side of the map couldn't keep up with how good Crownie and Labrov looked against G2.
It felt like they also rode that momentum off their bot lane a little too hard. They started taking fights in the jungle. All of a sudden, they got over-eager. They pushed themselves too hard, and that got capitalized on by G2. But that doesn't take away from the fact that this is one scary bot lane to face when you're playing laning phase.
Yeah, leading up until that match, for the first 3 weeks, Hans and Mickey are the #1 bot lane duo. So the fact that these guys came in, full redemption for them to be able to find that 2v2 kill and look fantastic even in the loss.
And I'm so excited for this matchup today. And I'm so excited that we actually see that right now, BDS is on the blue side, we have Vitality on the red. I think that opens up a lot of options for BDS, specifically going into the Vitality matchup. Kaiser and Neon, they've been really good lately as well, but they've, compared to Crownie and Labrov, they've actually looked a little bit under them. And I actually think coming into the bot lane bans, the bans you have to take away from them, Ashe, Heimer, Caitlyn, Maokai will be open and available as well. It just feels like on blue side, whatever it is that you just decide to take away, the bot lane will actually shine on BDS. Adam might get caught off a little bit by this since you don't have the red side counterpick for this one, but I actually think this is really good for BDS, just if they want to put their bot lane in a good position.
And we know what kind of aggressive bot lane BDS can be. What are we thinking of on the side of Vitality maybe here?
I mean, it's hard to say because so much of it comes down to like what the bans end up being towards the start. Whether or not you want to like take like range versus range, if you can get your hands on something like the Heim, very likely banned, but like the Ashe is like that sort of secondary pool. But also, I think like even though we saw the BDS bot lane outplay something like the Nautilus, the hard engage in the bot lane, that's still an option because I think ultimately when I look at BDS games, they could either be like very bot side or top side focused with Adam coming into play. But I think that if you are able to sort of create a really volatile bot lane with the supports down there, you can drag jungle attention from the top side of the map and allow Adam to have the 1v1. And when he has the aggressive like counter picks, the 1v1 champions, if you can get the enemy jungler away from there, that is perfect for BDS.
I think the disruptor as well from Vitality, the ace card they have is the fact that they have Bo. And I think what you really want Bo to be is not on Sejuani. You don't want him to be on any of this facilitating junglers. You want to facilitate him. But this is also where there's a lot of leeway from the likes of BDS right now. I think they'll just straight up say, all right, we'll ban away the Graves. You can't get that. We'll probably take away the Yumi since they don't like playing that themselves. And then outside of that, they can just leave the last one as a flex. While I feel like the pressure is on Vitality to contain the BDS bot lane, I think there's going to be a lot of pressure down here.
And taking a step back and focusing a bit more on the story around this game, let's remind you guys at home that Crownie and Labrov used to play together in the LEC for Vitality in 2022. That was a huge mess. Grudge match. I think there's I think there's something in the air. But yeah, they have some things to prove, definitely.
Yeah, of course. I mean, especially with Crownie coming back after not being able to find a team. Like, what is this guy showing up in a way where he's just absolutely smashing the best, what we thought was the best 2v2 in the league. Very close battle for him. And I think his consistently high performances throughout the split so far have put him at that top tier of AD carries in Europe.
And the redemption story he was looking for.
Completely. And I also think from the side of Vitality, they want to show they got a better roster now as well. They want to secure that first place for themselves. So there's really high stakes for both the teams going into this one.
It's excited.
Grudge match!
Super excited about this game, of course. And the players are ready on stage. So let's send it over to Caedrel and Initialise for picks and bans.
I feel like I need to say, let's get ready to rumble after the sort of grudge match WWE
Endo does it so good. It's the voice. I don't know how he can just like strain his voice so much to get the grudge match.
Grudge match!
Yeah, he's good at it.
Exactly. He's very good.
He's a wonderful man, Ender. Handsome, talented. I love his fashion, his dress sense.
It's very irritating. You come in and go like, yeah, I've got this new like incredible outfit that I just found like, today. It's like, why did you do this?
Here's my suit from last
year.
I know,
right? Exactly. This is the thing I bought from like the department store down the road.
I do like Vitality's outfit though. I like the little V on the back. It's quite nice. SK's one was nice. I like the colors because I feel like in esports, when you make a team, I feel like black, gold, and red are just the default colors for every jersey.
And actually, SK, especially this year when there's a lot of black jerseys as well, SK's is a bit different. I quite like it.
Colourful.
Yeah.
I like it a lot.
Bold choice.
But we've got BDS versus Vitality on our hands. Important game for both these teams in terms of seeding. The desk just highlighted that Crownie and Labrov used to play for these rosters. I remember that Vitality roster actually. It had Shigen, the SLT, I believe. It also had Comp playing AD carry initially. And Crownie was the one who came into Vitality to try to fix all their problems. And he fixed a little bit of them. He was more of a voice for Vitality. But it didn't end up working out in the end. It was a hot mess. And now it's him and Labrov again on BDS, and they've looked like one of the best bot lanes in the league.
They've just removed mess from that. They're just looking hot now, apparently. They're doing very, very well. And of course, did drop the game yesterday where it feels like Perkz is still on ice from the number of arrows that hit him yesterday. Trimby was on an absolute
I'm surprised
show.
he's hit today and he's not stunned still. The amount of arrows that hit Perkz.
Morgana Q suddenly got a contender.
Yeah, managed to get through the night without, you know, waking up in night terrors of just an arrow flying towards him or something. But we'll see how Vitality can perform on the red side, but like we highlighted, I feel like BDS's side lanes especially have been standout. You know, their bot lane has been playing amazing, maybe top 3 bot lanes in the league right now in terms of just raw performance over the last few weeks. Adam's been a stellar player as well. So Vitality needs to be careful. I know Photon and Bo have been having a little bit of banter with Adam in Champions Queue, you know, trying to gank him on purpose because he's playing things like Garen and Jax and Darius and all these wacky picks. So we'll see how Photon deals with him. We even saw Broken Blade yesterday get solo killed by Adam, right? So I feel like Adam is solo killing a lot of these top laners, catching them off guard. And that wasn't even with an off-meta pick, that was with a Jax. So showing his dominance, really good suit of meta playstyle for Adam on this match.
Yeah, and in fairness, it does feel like we were having a discussion in the green, like who is the best performing top laner right now after the first 3 weeks, and like Adam and Photon are 2 of the names that are putting their names in the hat to say we are the best in the role right now, and could be a pretty exciting matchup to watch. Adam first picking Darius, you do wonder? Come on, man.
Not at all. I feel like Ashe is probably something that they'll look into. Caitlyn is up, Varus is up. I think Ashe, Caitlyn, Varus. He's just taunting Photon and Bo from their Champions Queue banter that he can play things like Garen. I think they're laughing at each other. Photon just looked across, Bo is looking across at Adam, and they're having a couple giggles. So it's nice to see the relationships are building through Champions Queue, which...
Bit of rivalry here and there.
Bit of rivalry. Also, they're going to go for the Lucian instead. Going to go for the Lucian Nami, so all up in the air for Vitality. They can play some kind of Ashe Varus lane and just push them in if they want. They could try to take away the Nami and play with a Draven, or we've seen Ezreals with Namis, but I haven't liked that too much. It's very common in the eastern regions to pick Nami first, because then if they take away Lucian, you can play Draven Nami. Whereas if you pick away Lucian, they can be the ones to opt into that. But I think Varus and something like the Ashe would pair really well with it to just get the push.
This would be a fun blind pick, though again, it does feel perhaps a little bit risky, though of course we have seen fewer blind picked a little bit over in the LPL and the like, especially for those players who feel confident enough to do it. But you called out the Varus, it is locked in. That's not really a surprise with how bot lanes have gone right now. I will say I'm a little surprised that the Ashe hasn't been picked up. That does feel like a real priority early rounds.
I think what they've done here is they're saying, well, Maokai, Sejuani, and Elise are banned, and we need a jungler that can get onto your mobile AD carry of Lucian. We're going to take away Vi, and then likely pick support on 3. I think they have options too. You know, they can play Varus Karma. They can even play a melee support with the Varus, like a Nautilus. But we'll have to see what they opt into. But very standard picks here from BDS. Match the Vi with Wukong. Lucian Nami is no surprise to anyone. I think they're just giving themselves more time here to think. They're not locking it instantly. You know, they've given themselves 10 seconds to talk about bans on the next phase, where they want to target, what the blind picks will be. So
max efficiency. Maximum
efficiency, yeah. Use the time you're given. So we'll see what Vitality opt into here. Yeah, looks like it'll be the Ashe. I mean, Ryze is up as well if they want to go for something along those lines. Renekton could be good, and then ban away 2 of Adam's top laners. But I think you're crazy if you don't go for one of the supports that help you get the push into the Lucian Nami.
And if it is the Ashe here, I suppose we'll have this conversation perhaps a bit more in-game. Of course, a couple different ways you build that, either the Imperial Mandate or the Durkin to Umbral Glaive first. So a little bit of flexibility in terms of how you want to play the game out. But bot lane's locked in, jungler's locked in. It is the solo laners that are now up for grabs. And surprise, surprise, Vitality are banning away a few of the Adam specials.
Yeah, I can see Adam smiling again. His smile is just lighting up the studio right now. He can't stop laughing. Yeah,
what to smile about.
Yeah, wouldn't be surprised to see a Darius ban here or something along those lines. Maybe
that would be my ban.
Yeah, maybe a Garen ban. We'll see what they decide to target, but I feel like every team has been leaning into 4-5 is reserved for Mr. Adam. Take away his champions to make sure his blind picks are a little bit harder. We'll see what they go for here, because I feel like Vitality could go for Azir on 4, perhaps, and then allow counter pick for Photon. But how much depth of champion pool has Photon got to merit that counter pick if he does blind pick something like Garen? You know, what can he counter it with? Renekton Gnar would be the easy blinds. Cassante here would be the safe option. The only worry I have for an Azir blind pick here is Akali's up, right?
Yes.
I think if Nuke goes to Akali and they play some kind of diving top laner as well, like Garen, then I feel like your backline is just so exposed.
Turns out you're right at reading draft, because there's that Akali lock-in. We'll see whether that diving top laner does come on through. Adam with that last pick as ever. Of course, Vitality have looked to save a counter pick, and it's not an Adam special. It's Cassante, the flavor of the month.
Yep.
Though it does feel like only a couple players in EU have really shown off on that champion. One of them being Evie, of course, but see whether Adam can do it as well.
A lot of games under his belt. So how do Vitality want to round this out? Gwen was hovered a little bit earlier on. I think that works pretty well with their draft. Looks like he's going back around to it here, Photon, and we'll lock it in. I think the Ornn doesn't really make sense. You're just sacking top on a counter pick on red side for no reason, and it's not like the Ornn can stop the Akali. I think Gwen is just something... You can fight fire with fire in League of Legends, right? If they have a threat, you fight them with a threat. So the Lucian can't step up as much. So the Gwen and the Vi will be the divers.
Quick note, the production just gave me some stats for Sheo. 100% win rate career long on the Wukong. 9-0 right now.
Reminds me of Armut. I feel like Armut had a top lane Wukong domestically that was like 13, 14-0. I remember hearing that stat. Something about this champion that just makes it so who the top team fights are great, and then maybe that allows you to have a good win rate on it. We'll see. We'll see if he can keep that win rate. See if he can get the double digits, get to the 10-0, and join the likes of Armut with those undefeated streaks. But a lot of divers, you know. Wukong, Akali, Cassante want to get onto the Varus and the Ashe. The Vi wants to negate the Lucian pressure and make sure Gwen's in range to follow up. Very similar drafts. We saw Fnatic run the Vi and the Gwen into a Zeri, a little bit more mobile, but struggled to get onto that back line. It was against Heretics, I believe. Jack Spectre had a nice moment where he dodged around from the Vi and the Gwen. So we'll see if they can lock down this Lucian, lock down Crownie. We saw Lucian Nami being successful in Europe. We saw, I think it was Exekick and DOS having an amazing game on that as well. And BDS even getting the 2v2 kill against G2's bot lane yesterday.
Superb 2v2 as well. They got very, very close. Very exciting stuff to witness as the crowd comes on out there throwing out the shirts as well, looking very pleased. You're looking beautiful, Berlin. Good to see you all. And big, big game. Both of these teams looking to fight for the top of the table. But enough from us. Let's hit the light show and head on to the Rift.
Double Hail of Blades bot. Every bot laner's nightmare. They just walk up past the wave and just start destroying your health bar. Kaiser's gone for the carrier direction, I like to call it, because he's gone barrier on Ashe. So what I think he will do is walk up level 1, barrier early, and just start hard trading with auto attacks, because it's such a short cooldown.
I will crash this wave, I will get level 2, I will have bow on Vi come and dive you.
Yeah, exactly. So we'll see how the pathing goes, but it's normally all about bot lane. So expecting both the junglers to path down there. I feel like on blue side, I feel like the pathing is slightly easier because you can solo Raptors red Krugs and run into their bot side quite quickly. Whereas on red side, you can't really do that with blue buff. you need red, so you have to go with some kind of like red, blue Gromp, and or red Raptors Gromp, and the pathing just gets a little bit annoying.
And that was the old 3 camp, right? It was red, blue Gromp was that old strat?
And that's the fast way of getting into their jungle. The easy way and the nicest way is just full clearing down. You know, Wolves, blue, Gromp, down to bot side, red,
so much
no
farm.
action. This is
such
great.
Such a clean clear. I can go back to my camps in a couple minutes. Great.
Yeah, so we'll see them step up here. Kaiser might use the barrier early here just to trade. Exactly, look at that.
Crownie.
Double hail of blades.
He does not enjoy that at all.
They had to use cleanse and heal already. It's a nightmare for this BDS bot lane. This is the power of Ashe Varus with double hail of blades. This is the power of pushing bot. And now Vitality are screaming to Bo, hey, they have no combat summoners. They only have flashes. We're going to stack this wave and you're going to come and dive them.
At least with the Nami, maybe there's a little bit of sustain, but you don't want to take another trade like that, especially considering Bo has started that top side, as we mentioned. Eyes on the bot lane, Crownie and Labrov, so good yesterday. Found those early fights that got them an advantage against G2. Didn't win them the game, of course, the turnaround was pretty extraordinary from the likes of Mickey and Caps, but Neon and Kaiser decided to throw down the gauntlet straight at level 1. Didn't even need to use the barrier you were calling out.
Eyes on Bo. How does he use this bot push? Does he play around it? Does he play away from it? Can also like look to invade top side. Doesn't really have that much information to work with right now. There's only a ward on Raptors that shows that they're up. So Bo can think to himself, maybe he's top side clearing down. Maybe he's gone to red Perkz and maybe he's gone to top side. You know, there's a couple of options that could be going through his head. So he's going to take the safest one and just keep clearing his camps. Ward and Tribush should keep Vitality's bot lane safe, and the Ashe should have access to that Hawk shot soon.
Level 2 hit for Vitality's bot lane. Sheo is there, as you suggested. Just going to be around to potentially shadow any potential invaders. Bo's taking that slightly slower route, as you said, it's the full clear, leaving potentially Gromp to look at a dive.
Yeah, no dives just yet. Didn't go for the early one. Was scared of Sheo covering. We've got a pause.
I mentioned dive and the game pauses. I feel like that was my fault.
You did. And I feel like looking across the stage, I can see Photon is talking to his team. I think he's got an issue with something on his screen or something just happened in the game. We'll have to find out, but it's Vitality who have dropped the pause, I think.
Yeah, it does seem to be that way. When we know more, we'll give you a heads up, but that does give us a little bit of a moment to have a break. No Kit Kats here on the cast, though, sadly, but we can talk about the game as it is, and with things as it stands, that level 1 trade being pretty rough, who are you favouring as the game kind of goes on? I mean, we've only seen like 2 minutes or so, but what are you feeling so far?
I think Vitality's comp will have natural scaling. The only problem is it's conditional scaling, where they have dive of Akali and a Wukong, right? If they can get on those range champions, it's going to suck. But fun fact of the day, the producers have just sent over. Vitality have picked 4 of the 5 champions that Koi beat them with yesterday. So they've said, we lost yesterday. Koi's draft was pretty good. We're just gonna beat him, join him. We're just going to take their draft. Vi, Azir, Varus, Ashe. And they've slotted in Gwen instead of Gnar. That was on the last pick, and I believe Gnar was banned out on blue side, so they couldn't go for the holy Exodia Trinity that Koi beat them with.
Is this where you start talking about the power of friendship and Yugi starts yelling at Kaiba? Is this how this goes?
Just top decks a Karibo or something?
Yeah. Beautiful, beautiful.
Art, beautiful. Yeah, Yu-Gi-Oh series was great.
I really enjoyed that when I was a kid.
I like the GX series as well, to be honest.
That was fun, yeah. It's a throwback from many years. Maybe get back to the game.
Many years ago. Many years. But yeah, like you were talking about and alluding to about comps, yeah, Vitality need to just make sure their carries are safe, and we'll see how BDS can get on top of them. But looking at the game state now, it's just Vitality's bot lane smashing, Perkz has the mid push, and Photon has the top push. So Vitality in this early game have 3 pushing lanes, and Bo's getting a full clear off. So a 500 gold lead right now. They'll be happy with that. Just need to get this tech issue sorted, and they should be good to go.
I mean, Ender did warn his little, beginning of the day skit, talking, give a couple extra hours of pauses maybe. I'm hoping we don't actually have that, because, I can podcast, but 2 hours might be a bit much.
You can podcast?
I mean, I can.
We're going to have to just turn off brains into podcast mode. We'll have to bring on Euphoria. Do an episode here on the
What would the episode be on, though? What we actually do?
We could do it. Do you think you could talk about 2 hours of 3 minutes of gameplay?
We might have to. Let's find out whether we can.
Just replay every single second of the game.
Frame by frame. Let's go.
It's like when teacher gives you like an essay to do on a random topic for like 2,000 words, and you're just like digging. You're like.
Well, what we can do is we can like take the minutiae of both clears. Like, did he have the right clicks? Like, was that a clean?
Just analyze every single player's POV pro view and just make sure they're min-maxing to the absolute skies. Make sure that they're playing like AI. But yeah, laughs and smiles. I think Perkz. I'm not in the game right now, but I know for a fact Perkz is writing in all chat.
Got info from production that what they're investigating right now is a potential visual problem in the game, so League officials are investigating, and we'll get back into game as soon as they can resolve that and the investigation is over. So, one thing I will note is this is the mid-jungle duo from Vitality that Perkz and Bo put on an absolute masterclass on against, I believe it was Mad Lions, when Nisqy just found himself shuffled into ridiculous flash cues from Bo and stuff. It looked like it was like LeBron dunking on high schoolers in basketball. It was ridiculous stuff.
Yeah, it was, and I think he kind of misplayed a little bit. That was one of the games from Nisqy where you have to like
from Vitality.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, for sure. I mean, there was one point where Nisqy missed the flash laser, which was just the biggest heartbreak of that game. They just put him behind. But Nisqy's had a good split. I think that was one of the games where he struggled a little bit. A lot of surprises so far on the LEC. Like Mad Lions. Fun fact, I think Mad Lions are the team with the lowest deaths in the league.
What?
I saw that tweeted out somewhere. And they have Hylissang and Carzzy on it. Like, how is that possible?
I mean, I also, because I cast Chasey most of last year when he joined X7 in NLC, so like he only joined in the summer split.
Yeah.
And he was notorious for like having those games where he would do that LCK challenger top thing of just running it down, trying to find the fight. Yeah, good deaths, exactly. A bit of a bounce experience. But you know, on like Renekton and Yone and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And he's actually been like pretty damn clean. Like I am well surprised to see that death count being so low for a team with what I expect to be so much volatility.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's been a big surprise. I don't think anyone could really expected what we've been given here in the first 3 weeks of the LEC. I think the new formats brought a lot of hype. You know, not often in a week 3 do you have so much tension and a foldy sheet.
I know. I'm actually not folded the foldy sheet yet. I'm quite disappointed. I was hoping to do that. A little bit more of an update, actually, by the way, from League officials. Potential visual bug with Gwen E specifically. League officials are investigating and discussing with teams.
Yeah, so Photon's paused, and he's obviously the one playing Gwen, and he has some visual bug with Gwen E. So maybe he's got some kind of stutter as he E's, or something's going wrong on his cooldown or something. So we'll have to figure out what that is. But obviously something's not working there on his screen when he sees himself dash around.
Could be pretty problematic as well, considering how important the E is, how to Gwen plays. The skip and slash. Glad I remember how that ability is called.
See, that's the life of a play-by-play.
You
just have to memorize all the names of the... Well, not all, you know, but the important ones.
The secret trick is to use Wikipedia. Not Wikipedia, but like the League Wiki. I'm actually pretty good anyway, but like there's one or two like I've not seen a Yorick in forever. I probably have to look.
Do you play those games where like Loldal and stuff, where they show you the picture and they give you the names?
There's a few of my friends who are like play-by-plays and stuff who are like, yeah, we'll like, challenge each other at Loldal.
Yeah, and you like...
says a lot about my hobbies.
So you quiz yourself as well.
Yeah, genuinely. Like, there's it's like a leaderboard.
You could do a pub quiz of League of Legends.
Oh god, yeah, probably
that sounds messy.
I've actually won. I used to be in a pub quiz team that used to win super regularly.
Oh my god. You do have a lot of fun facts every now and then, I feel like.
I was like the worst member of the team as well. Like I was there for the music and like I wasn't that good at
just spewing out all these fun facts every now and then.
Yeah, apparently so.
Yeah, no, as for myself, I don't really know any of the spell names, to be honest.
That's a cue.
Because when you're a pro player, you're like, I'm ulting. Can you Q on him? Like, have you got your W up if you're playing with a TF? You know, it's like...
You don't have time to say, like, the full ability name.
Like, you know, I don't say if you got the deck of cards, wild cards, you know? Like, I'm not trying to start a Laure story here. I'm just like, I just want to get and kill you.
Can you skip and slash and use needlework?
Exactly, right. So you just say, just E on him and pop R or something.
I think especially when you've got, like, mixed languages as well. Like, that would be a nightmare. Like, you know, poor people coming from, like, Korea and obviously, like, Ebby's from Japan. You're like... completely different names in those languages as well.
Yeah, it's good they're labeled QWER.
Yeah, exactly.
I can see hands are on mouse and keyboards, and clicks are coming in. I wonder if we're close to restarting, and we're counting down. Fantastic
news, Caedrel. You're absolutely right. Production have got into my ears, and they've given us the amazing news. Give us a cheer, Berlin. We're back into game. You are good today, crowd. Thank you very much. And in we go as Neon and Kaiser continue to do what they were doing at level 1, which is shove in and be as obnoxious as you possibly can be in the bot lane.
So Bo's hiding on a bush here, waiting for Crab to spawn. Little does he know, Sheo also wants to look for that Crab. He should know now. His Q's on cooldown though, so really unlucky timing for Bo, but Sheo doesn't know that.
He's got Smite as well, so easy enough secure.
And then now, does he move to Gromp? Does he try to cover bot? Doesn't have Sweeper. Oftentimes you see jungles put a ward down and then sweep. Well, Sheo's going all the way around here. I think he must know that there's...
He thinks there's something up here. You're absolutely right. He's still got like most of a top side and that Scuttle Crab. Yeah, they just want to be here. Crownie dashes away and...
Maybe he thought that Bo warded over the Dragon Pit. I think that's something that he might have had in his mind, so he wants to run all the way around. Also, the Raptors are warded, but he's not going to find anything. The wave is going to keep pushing into BDS, you have to imagine. And
he's going to do it now, though. It might just be 20 seconds too late. Where's he going? Is he thinking mid lane as a possibility? Throws down that ward, and thank you, observers. We have got ourselves very scary.
Is that a dive? Yeah, whoa, the wave will crash. Maybe they can get his flash here, but if he has W, I don't think there's a play here.
Goes in, gets it in. Perkz dashes on forwards with the shifting sand, but Nuke is forced to use the flash to get on out of there, and the summoner blown in mid lane.
Yeah, worth it. It's great, because what Bo wants to do is collapse towards the top side and get top grab as well. So he may as well try a gank mid. Vitality bot lane needs to be careful here.
Here they go, Sheo looking to punish now that Bo has been spotted. Neon has to burn the heal, but nothing more. That's the damage is ruthless back. They are in a dire spot now. Do have flash. The slows could just go through. Piercing arrow, Crownie down to 100 HP. Kaiser now turned around, barrier popped. Still has it. Sheo flashing forward for the crushing blow. Neon flashing on out as well. My god, the bot lane plays from Crownie and Labrov have been on knife's edge 2 games in a row.
Oof, if Vitality bot lane, Neon specifically, had a little bit more mana there, I think they could have gotten a kill. They were also tanking a whole minion wave throughout that entire fight, so Crownie and Sheo had to flash. Vitality bot lane had to use all of their summoners to live through that. They gave up the push because Bo went towards top side. They knew Sheo was around here. Was spotted by Bo on the vision plant. But either way, that's an 800 gold lead in bot lane already for Neon and Kaiser. Big CS lead, a lot of support item procs, a plate as well. And they're going to come out of base even stronger. So good early game here from Vitality. 1.5k gold lead already.
Massive, and you can see it's just red across the board there, down in the middle, down from top to bot. Big leads, particularly for Neon, he's got 500 gold up already. That means it's an extra tier for him. He gets to start stacking that nice and early, and feels like Sheo is going to have to turn back up and punish those missing summoners if they want to try and right the wrongs of the bot lane as of the early moments of this game.
Yeah, bot lane is going to be the focus for everyone now, because 3 summoners, 3 flashes down just means either side can die in the blink of an eye. Especially when they get towards level 6, these junglers, they're just going to try to look for plays non-stop. Bo can flash and use the ultimate. Gap close onto Crownie. Pink's being put down, Dragon's up. Could be an easy pickup objective for Bo. Just needs to make sure his bot lane's safe. Needs to make sure that Neon and Kaiser can keep this push up. As the wave's slow pushing into them right now, they're a bit scared.
You know, and Crownie was a guy who did pretty damn well across this split so far. He's kind of come back in and has done really well in this game, kind of put behind just a little bit, but we know what this guy is capable of if he can get the lane to start rolling. Definitely
is. And he played a couple of games where he was more of a supportive style. You know, he played things like the Jhin when his top side is just carrying. But he's also played the Caitlyn lanes where he almost single-handedly won in the game against XL, their only win, but also took down SK with it too. So he's had a really good performance so far.
Bo is off vision and down here. Finally reveals himself. That one caster creep, providing some magic, no pun intended, for Crownie and Labrov to know that he was around and looking to see whether there was an opportunity in that bot lane.
Wow, Bo's just going to start it.
Okay.
Not even level 6 yet.
Triple longsword as well, by the way. He's just decided he needs more knives.
Needs more stabby stab, really, doesn't he? See if he can get this dragon down.
Dagger.
Sheo's not level 6 yet either. Mid push is pretty even, but Vitality bot lane is getting traded on here.
They know where Bo is. They know they've got an opportunity to trade. The Aqua Prison is good, but Crownie is the one with the lower health bar for now. Sheo on a control ward spotted, but Bo onto this dragon. Perkz is there as well, though. This should be secured by Vitality. Sheo decides not to take the flip.
Thought by Bo's movement he was going to level up on the dragon and wants to ult him. But this is a lot of dive pressure here. Heal is up for Labrov. Sheo can't take that base. I think he tried to fake base on the Ashe E to make it look like they can go for the dive. They're not going to bait it, though, because Crownie will just die instantly. Red buff is up, so if Sheo can get that, he will get level 6, and then Vitality will have to be careful. Bo trying to stop their bases.
The Sejuani game yesterday from Bo was a little bit passive. I think we didn't see that much. But honestly, the whole game, it did feel like everyone was stunned by Ashe arrows the entire game.
Yep.
This time, though, he's on the Vi, something with a bit more agency, something with a little bit more potency, and continuing to try and make things happen early. Got the flash in mid, gets the early dragon, but Sheo is here with level 6. And a reminder, no flash for Neon or Kaiser.
Good stop on the recall there by Bo. He doesn't want to leave his bot lane exposed, recalling alone. He knows the Wukong is level 6 and probably finish red. And he needs to clear out his top side. He needs to bring his laners with him towards his top side of the map to secure this Herald. It's just Vitality in the driver's seat, owning the map right now. And like you said, proactivity is the aim of the game for Bo, and I feel like Vi does give him that. Sejuani doesn't have that much dueling power. Oftentimes you see Vi versus Sejuani, and because the Sejuani loses 1v1, if the push is even, then the jungler that wins the 1v1 just gets the crap. And so you just slowly start to fall behind if neither of your lanes can actually dominate it. Photon all-inning here.
Throwing down the needlework. He's got the Hallowed Mist as well, but will not be laying Adam to rest in it. Grave stays undug for now.
Tries to push him back. The wave was coming into Photon there. I think he was scared of Adam trying to crash the wave. What he wants to do is push the wave out because he doesn't have TP, and Adam does. He wants to make sure a wave can crash and he can take a safe base. Otherwise, he's stuck under his tower. And he's going to lean down here for Bo to get this Herald. Now Sheo on this bot side.
He's got a full side of this jungle to clear up, but of course Bo will trade that likely for the Herald pretty happily. Perkz wandering over, but that ward is prescient enough to spot the nuke was in there.
And there's a ward there as well on Sheo, so Vitality bot lane has all the information they need to know that the Wukong is around. How aggressive do they play it? How much do they want to bait this? They have Photon CP coming up in a couple of seconds that'll cover any kind of dive. Their summoners are coming up really soon as well.
20 seconds, if that.
All of his top camps are up still, but it's very common in pro play. When you do the Herald, you just instantly base and run straight bot to cover any kind of cross map. Make sure they can push out, make sure they're safe, get a little bit of vision, and then you can clear your top side. But Sheo is still here.
He hasn't really made this work outside of the early gank. He's turned up a few times to shield, but yet to find a way to get that ultimate down. And those summoners back up, they've managed to manage for now. Maybe trying to make sure that this gold lead doesn't extend any further and keep this lane stable after the level 1 got a bit tricky. And Sheo will be spotted with that piercing.
Yeah, he got spotted by the Ashe E, so the Hawk shot kind of...
I missed that. I was too busy looking at you.
Gave all the information away, and that's the pain. You're too busy looking. Oh,
I've got that.
You can't start making.
I know Dracos isn't here, and you know I'm just taking my opportunity.
Okay, you're on the good side of me then, because Dracos does the same thing, but Medic just likes to insult me and make fun of me. So you're on my good side already on day 1.
Doing well. Okay, that's a good start.
Doing fantastic. As is Vitality. I mean, look at mid jungle. You talk about Bo and Perkz being an incredible duo. Well, they've not really done much. They've just outperformed. Hang on a second.
Kaiser throws down the Ashe, but the Tsunami comes through. Cleanse from Crownie, and Kaiser chunked out with the culling. It's ultimates and a couple summoners popped.
Couple summoners on Crownie. He's got nothing left now. He's going to have to try to take a base. So I was just highlighting 1,400, 1,500 gold lead on the mid jungle of Vitality right now, just from laning and jungling alone. Playing together. Big CS lead for Perkz, trying to cover top here, Bo. No Ghost on Adam, so if they can land a little bit of damage and then land the ultimate, I don't think there's a way for Adam to escape. Here he goes, might have to flash though.
Cease, desist, Adam is unstoppable and inverts that attempt from the Vi, who will look to make sure that he's getting out of jail. Free away from the flash! Bo leaves with nothing, and now the turnaround from Sheo could potentially come on through. But with the red buff, I'm not sure he wants to cancel him. He missed the Q over the wall. Now the cycle could come on through. Bo dies for first blood. Is this the best jungler in the league?
What an outplay by Adam. He just sets up the kill for Sheo, and Sheo played it fantastically. Stops the Vi Q over the wall, knowing Bo has no flash. Adam can re-enter. But that escape was beautiful. Uses the ult to make himself unstoppable. Gap closes away from Bo, and then can afford to run out, and Sheo can do the rest. That was a game of tag, and they both played it exceptionally well.
Yeah, but unfortunately for the side of Vitality, that one ended with a tag that was first blood for the side of BDS.
So watch Adam here. Sees the Vi coming in. As he's getting ulted, he decides to ult Photon, unstoppable. Dashes with the ult, uses the dash again, comes up to get over the wall. Shield doesn't really do much because there's no collapse. Bo thinks he can flash Q, but he doesn't think about the blast cone. And then Bo thinks he's safe here. He cancels a few autos here. He has 2 procs, but he doesn't actually take the auto. And then he wants to Q out, but Sheo, insane reaction to just stop him. That's in slow motion. And then Photon can't help. BDS get the kill. What a series of events.
Should have worn a raincoat. That cyclone was a little bit too much, and you can see some very pleased members of the BDS staff in the back room. Just a little stressed.
He face-palmed a bit there. Why is he face-palmed? A little bit stressed, yeah, but he should have been happy about that one.
Oh, we got the kill.
They managed to turn it around. It's not the end of the world. But yeah, lane's on going great still. Despite that first blood going over to Sheo, he's still down 200 to 300 gold on Bo. All of Vitality still ahead. And it's Perkz who's just sitting there in isolation, playing Azir into Akali. 30 CS up, 1.1k gold lead, taking plates in Nuke's face. And BDS haven't found a response yet. Here comes the second dragon. Herald, I believe, was placed down top side.
Maybe this is probably a good time to look in on that gold, as we said, because it does feel like it's Vitality all the way up. Perkz and Photon doing very, very well. And
this is going to hurt.
I bring up a graphic. Crownie gets taken to about 20%.
It's the cast to curse. It happens every time. Even in the SK game, you brought up a graphic, and there was a top gank.
Maybe that's why I bring action about. I just press a button and something happens.
You can't go into the magic too much. You just gotta wait for the moments of magic, you know. Oh, hang on a sec. Perkz dashes out. Sheo doesn't stop that one.
Does indeed. Perkz gets one out for that one. A decent attempt from Sheo to repeat the stop from earlier.
It's when you. Sorry, I was gonna say it's when you least think about it. Then when you bring the graphic up, something happens.
Basically.
Yeah. See what Sheo's thinking about. He's thinking about going on to Bo. No flash, no Q.
This is an opportunity. There's that cyclone again. The tidal wave afterwards is just bad weather. Bo taken out of the wall once more. Sheo taking names. A second kill onto Bo.
Really well played in these 1v1s. Has his number here. Sheo onto Bo. And jungle been struggling now. Vitality still in the lead, still having good lanes, but now jungle's all of a sudden evened up. and it's off the back of Sheo's mechanical plays. Take a look at that one again. So Bo Q's onto the Wolves. I don't think BDS had info on that, unless there was some kind of Strier's Bloom that showed Bo. Gets the Q off, I believe, and then just instantly ults him as he's trying to go through again. Horror for Bo. The Nami tidal wave would have knocked him up too, so I don't think he had any way to get over that wall.
Yeah, that is a sinking ship there, no pun intended with the Cyclone and the tidal wave, and he is taken out despite having a solid CS lead and stuff. It's just Sheo finding ways to punish this Vi in two sides of the jungle now.
Yes, indeed. See how they play around it. Next Herald spawning in 20 seconds, and Sunderer picked up for the Wukong. No Proto Belt on the Akali just yet. No real mythics. Lucian Gale Force is also something that's really crucial if BDS want to start taking these fights. Here comes Sheo to Bo, looking for a little bit of a fight, but they're going to have to back away. Nothing to look for here. Kaiser's just joining.
Sorry about that. I cut you off there. I was just saying observer to just highlight the fact that mid lane tower is very, very low. Perkz doing a solid job in this mid lane to punish Nuke on the Akali, and especially with the second Herald coming down, you feel like there's a few towers in Vitality's future, and for all the kills have gone against them, still up that 2,000 gold.
Yeah, you're completely right. Mid tower's low, bot tower's low. Top tower is also quite low. I saw it last time on 2 plates, so they should be able to take all outer towers quite handily, and as I say, that top tower is going to fall. First brick over to Photon. Mid tower should fall shortly after, and bot tower, like I said, will fall as well. I think this Herald will be used for tier 2s. I'm just kind of waiting for BDS to do something. I feel like their plays have been good, but the first one was reactionary, and the second one was a punish on the initial one, having Bo having no flash. But they've not fought any neutrals yet. They need to look for some kind of contest. They're playing Wukong, Akali, Lucian. This is really mid-game heavy power spikes.
Just got Gale Force and Mandate as well, right? This is the time to strike.
This is the time to strike. So now we should see BDS come online. There's a Proto Belt as well for the Akali, for Nuke. Now I think they'll start pressing their advantage, but no objective to fight over for the next 2 minutes. And Vitality have been pretty happy just scaling up, getting this Azir to a few more items, getting this Gwen to a few items.
Eyes on Kaiser as well. Has just completed that Umbral Glaive and has the Spectral Sickle upgrade as well. So the vision control for Vitality about to take that big step up, you would hope. Though Sheo maybe looking to make that a bit more difficult as he was thinking about, difficult rather, as he was thinking about contesting this blue buff. Arrow onto Crownie, dashes away.
Nice dash, doesn't have to use the cleanse. Yeah, Sheo was on a ward there, but so was Kaiser. So they were just kind of staring at each other, wondering if each other knew that they were there. Turns out Labrov pops the sweeper. They realize they're on vision, they back away. Perkz just hanging around here, making sure his team's safe. Wants the blue buff, I imagine, as well. So he can keep that mana bar up, keep the push going. Ooh, red buff almost had that. Would have been a nice one for both. But yeah, bot tower's really low on both sides. Bo's here to cover. TP for Perkz is coming up in 5 seconds, and it's the Unleash teleport. So in case anything kicks off on his bot side, Vitality can pull the trigger and have a 5-man bot with Photon joining 2, whereas BDS will only be able to respond with 4.
We've got about 50 seconds into what will be sole point for Vitality as well. They did stack those dragons nice and early. They've got both the Heralds as well. Those neutral objectives you were saying they want to get fights on. 4 of them have fallen already. Mid lane turret potentially about to fall as well. And then with bot lane turret already so low, you've got a Herald to work with, you've got Umbral Glaive. You feel like this map is about to get mighty small and mighty dark for BDS unless they pull the trigger very shortly.
Good cover here.
Perkz gets jumped, tries to throw down the ultimate, and Nuke just outplays it. Perkz is shut down, Neon taken out, on top of Kaiser, Adam goes as well. A double for Sheo, and the moment we asked for it, BDS deliver.
Well, we expect them to come online in the mid game, and they have, but Vitality was trying to cover Perkz on this play, but it all fell apart. Sheo just 1v2'd the Varus and the Ashe. That's gonna get them a dragon and a bot tower. Photon's just kind of sitting alone in top, pushing in, doesn't actually have the TP, looks like it's coming up soon. Bo's joining him with the Herald. They'll respond with a tier 2, so a little bit of gold in Vitality's back pocket, but yet to find the kill.
They're doing fine in terms of the gold stats. They'll get another turret. That's the big advantage right now. BDS have rich in kills, low in towers right now, and hopefully they'll look to try and change this over the coming moments as that dragon will be claimed in about a moment or two, and then they can look to transition that into something else. Hopefully.
Yeah, TP bot there by Perkz to save that tower that I thought would fall. And then he can start pushing in bot, looking for a tower zone. So let's look at this again. Eyes on Sheo. Looks like he's going to go on Perkz, but instead he just goes straight onto Neon. Look at the amount of damage this Wukong does. On the left side, you see Perkz dying to Nuke. The ult was a little bit missed there, didn't get his E. And then Neon just gets slam dunked from the flash. Perkz dies to Nuke and Crownie, but then watch Kaiser's HP. He has flash and barrier right now. How does he die so...
Just gets Cassandra.
Just gets annihilated. The Ashe doesn't really have any resistances, and then they pick up the dragon as well. So kills over to BDS, but they're still down 3k gold.
There's that gold slab again. This time, without it getting interrupted. And Photon and Perkz still standing strong at the top of that chart. And that's where a lot of the advantage Vitality is just good laning from their solo laners.
Yeah, it is. Perkz is CS lead, Photon CS lead in the tower. Vitality's next objective will be this bot tier 1. Sheo will see Bo blast cone over. Maybe they can punish this. Adam's looking.
That's going to be a 3v2, and Bo is taken into no man's land. Arrow afterwards is pretty good, but already Sheo on a rampage. Adam shoved away. Perkz will have to disappear as his jungler falls.
Sheo's playing the information game really, really well. Ever since that punish in top where he managed to get Bo on the first blood, he punished him on the wolves, punished the mid play when they looked to cover Perkz on the push, and now punished Bo on the blast cone. So the information he's being given, he's turning them into great plays, getting lots and lots of kills. But BDS are down 4 towers. They haven't gotten a single one yet. The Dragon was good in slowing down this Soul Point, but they need to start finding towers so they can crack open the map a bit more.
Yeah, it does feel like a mix between smart macro in terms of finding people to punish, but yet to convert that into the structures. But this'll do! Neon is absolutely eviscerated by Crownie. He decides the level 1 needed a little bit of reparations here in the mid-game.
Pings on Baron.
Oh
Is
my God,
BDS just going to start it up? Photon, did he just TP bot? Does BDS know that? I think he might have. So
here, there's at least a jungler to try and contest, but they've got the man advantage.
Yeah, they know that Gwen has no TP. They can maximum put 3 numbers here. The Ashe should help out in getting vision. It's just how the BDS play it. I've seen a lot of BDS Barons in my time in Initialise. I can tell you, a lot of them have been bad, but they're looking good this split. So we'll see how they execute. Perkz is pretty low. Adam's trying to zone away. Nuke trying to pressure the side. They need to make sure they zone away this Vi.
They need to keep Bo out. Last game, XL threw their game and their playoff hopes away by throwing a Baron. BDS thinking of turning off down to 4,000 HP. Photon with the Hallowed Mist now turned up. Nuke uses the Blast Cone. Photon throwing out the needlework, beginning to try and thread some of those needles. Arrow onto Crownie, onto Sheo, I apologize, who has to be healed to keep him alive, and they're pulling off the Baron down
they can take this Baron, maybe.
It's resetting. They're going to pull away. The burger will remain unflipped.
I thought Bo was going to queue over there and try to take over the Baron. Very messy from BDS. The idea was good. Gwen just TP'd bot. We got a kill onto Varus. Let's start it up 5v3. Looked like Nuke and Adam wanted to turn. Sheo wants to finish, but Crownie also wants to turn because he wasn't hitting the Baron. So, weird series of events. But BDS, luckily, don't flip the whole game. They don't come up tails and lose the Baron.
I sense a hint of bitterness. And
it's about time. And they'll maintain this gold lead that they have. Well, not gold lead, rather, map control in a sense. Yes. It's Vitality with still almost a 3,000 gold lead, despite not getting a single kill.
That might be the solo laners having 1.5 and 1.6k gold discrepancy.
Crazy. It's crazy, isn't it, that they're still this far ahead in gold. It's just towers. They need to get these towers, recover CS on side lanes, and then they should be all right. Here comes the first one.
Adam will claim one, and finally a structure on the board. 1-4 at this point, but Perkz and Photon looking to combine here to utilize that gold advantage they have individually to put Adam into the dirt.
Going for it.
Ghost popped. He's been slow. Needlewalk lands again, but he is fast enough on his feet to get on out to safety. Sheo.
For Bo.
He's just been punishing both the entire game. 0-3-0. He's just not been having fun, this Vi. The violence is onto her. She's going to try to turn around. Radiant Virtue healing is pretty good, but she's dead regardless. Neon tries to trade on out, but there are many members of BDS. Flash away from Kaiser. Perkz taken desperately low as well, but he'll have to get on out as well with a solid shifting sack.
Is Baron on the cards? Perkz has to base, and he's incredibly low. No TP. Bo is dead, but they're not going to go for it, BDS. They're going to take the safe option. No towers down means it's really hard to push into their jungle and get vision. It can be sweeped out so easily because Vitality have so many safe havens in terms of towers, and Crownie's not even going to go for this top tier 1. He's just going to base, so more kills to Vitality. Still no objectives. 20 seconds on the Dragon. I think they're trying to reset and secure that one.
See whether Bo can come in and contest that. It's not been an easy game for this jungler who came into this league undefeated. Sheo has decided to show, welcome to Europe, mate.
Sheo is having an amazing game so far, just in Bo's head, constantly responding to everything he tries to do, and again, using information. He sees Perkz bot. They know they have a numbers advantage up here. Bo is not allowed to get this red buff. I will contest it, and he does. Gets another kill. Here comes the dragon fight, though, on the bottom left here. Vitality already started it up. Nuke has a good position to look for a flank. Doesn't have the ultimate up just yet. Neon's trying to group with the rest of his team. BDS will look to engage.
Battle lines are drawn. Everyone's alive. Nuke, as you said, looking for that flank down to 5,000 HP as the dragon. Soul point for Vitality if they can claim it. In goes Adam over the wall, dragging out one member. Bo is away. Dragon secured by BDS, and Bo falls for the 5th time. Surely does so to Adam. Now Photon looking to avenge his fallen jungler. Adam dash away fast as he can. Perkz is here as well. Photon gets one, and the skip and the slash will claim one life, but no more.
The idea was good. BDS used the ultimate to take Bo out of the pit to secure the dragon, but I feel like the solo lanes were just a little bit too split, and when they found themselves together, the Azir was completely untouched, the Varus was untouched, and this is what you want.
Down the turnaround comes through. Stopwatch will invalidate that culling. The Perkz chunked out very low. Crownie very happy to pull the trigger.
Those are the kind of fights you want as BDS. You really want to get onto their carries. Investing ultimates onto their tanks just makes the team fight really, really hard. Bo 0-5-1 now on this fight, really struggling to find any kind of plays. And everything he's been doing, Sheo's just been doing better right now. But again, still a gold lead over to Vitality. And here we see it again. The K'Sante will just use to pull the Vi out. Just leaves the Azir and Varus untouched.
All Out apparently involves going to Australia, because they go right to the other side of that track and just take it straight down.
Upside down as well. Yeah, Bo can't really fight off against K'Sante, but once Vitality have grouped up and you have no more ultimates, you know, no Akali ult, no K'Sante ult, no cunning up just yet, it looks like. Yeah, Vitality can just run you down. And we'll see how the Baron setup goes, because they're only at 2 dragons right now. It's just Bo has not really been finding his footing in these fights.
Yeah, and again, the kill score is great for BDS. The turret score, less so, and the gold lead's still in Vitality's favor. And that's Photon and Perkz, and you can see they're beginning to get a few items that means these team fights are pretty nasty. Big damage from Photon and Perkz.
Yeah, certainly is. These AP carries doing so much work, and they're only really going to get stronger. These champions scale so well. Adam looking for a pick around mid. Perkz has the flash, gets stunned up.
Pulls back the soldiers, and Adam just out of range of that Chains of Corruption. Arrow afterwards. Adam, fancy feet, or footwork, I suppose, is probably more appropriate considering he's playing K'Sante and dodges out on all the skill shots. Perkz wishes from yesterday. Sheo, now looking to maybe punish him. Oh my god, he's spotted out, has to get one out.
Oh,
Throws down the warrior
trickster. Maybe? Oh, he was thinking about it,
but
Wukong is a little bit too fast. They need to get Rabadons on this Gwen. Need to get a little bit of vision to play around so they can start contesting around this Baron area. They have some sneaky wards there, so they know if BDS want to start it up, but this mid tower is their objective for now.
I was debating cease and desist there, you wonder. We're certainly looking to be in range for an ultimate. Sides against it for now, and that mid lane turret stands strong. As Nuke hiding on a ward. And the game slows down again briefly. Got about a little while until the next dragon spawns. Baron is up, but we've already seen one flip, and that's been about it.
Yeah, Bo's turned into a water bottle. What players have been doing recently. I'm not sure what that phenomenon is, where it's coming from. But Nuke's looking for the all-in.
Yeah, does trying to find the open angle.
Nice
fantastic stopwatch. Overcomes Photon. Now Nuke does not want to be here anymore. Gets slowed by the needlework, and he is slipped into a very small grave.
Big pick for Vitality. That's 50 seconds on the Akali with no TP. Is that their opportunity to go towards the Baron? Vitality can get it down quite quickly with the Azir and Gwen, but Neon needs to be careful.
Does not like that. The light's being put out. He survived with a flash over the wall. Photon looking for the turnaround. The tidal wave is good, but the hollow ground is put down, and you need to respect that. Bo taken down again. Crownie on a killing spree, but Perkz trying to get as much damage as he can. A good route means Sheo taken low, not taken out though. Photon is dead. The Gwen is down. Cannot survive enough. It's not immune enough. Adam throwing down the Untofo strikes, but will eventually be felled by Neon.
Photon and Bo die for Neon's mistake. He tried to join the rest of his team, but BDS collapsed onto him. Vitality's only option to save him was to engage. And they lose 2 members. Adam ends up falling in the back half of that fight. Perkz using his soldiers there to stop anyone from being able to join Adam. They were behind Adam. He wasn't actually doing damage with the soldiers. He was just stopping anyone from joining. Crownie had to flash away as well. Perkz trying to get a little bit of push here, get a little bit of map control for Vitality. The gold starting to even up.
And Nuke nearly gets picked, then Neon nearly gets picked, and then ends up in a very scrappy, very edgy fight.
So Nuke goes on top of Perkz. R2 gets instantly stopwatched. E away from Nuke to try to escape. Vitality collapse and get the kill. Just Neon is the only issue here. Vitality are all screaming, you know, you get a pick this late into the game. You're saying, Baron, Baron, Baron. But Neon's trying to think, where should I position? Realizes Adam's just TP'd in his face. And Crownie's dashing onto him. And now Vitality have to go in. This is an opportunity where Lucian is just dashed forwards. But Photon doesn't have the ult. BDS do pretty well to peel, and by the time Perkz TP's in, he's a little bit too late. Bo's already fallen. And then this is where the turn comes in. Photon will fall. Crownie cleanse flashes away, and Perkz uses his soldiers here behind Adam to stop Crownie from being able to join the fight.
Here we go again. Bo goes for the ultimate. Will invalidate that warrior trickster. Arrow is going to be dodged away from Sheo. No use of the summoners, but now Adam to the backline looking to get on top of someone. Bo goes golden, but for how long? This statue is broken right back down by Nuke. Photon, though, turns it around, diving in with the Hallow Mist. Nuke so low, will use the R2 to escape. Labrov flashes away from his former teammates in Vitality. Now they are being shoved in onto a 1-for-1 trade, but it's Vitality with the shove, Vitality with the higher health bars. I
can hear the players screaming. Vitality just trying to barrel it down mid right now, get this inhibitor maybe, or just the tower. Dragon is up, that'll put them on soul point, so that's an easy exit objective. Need to be a little bit careful about their tempo on the top side of the map. If they commit numbers down here to get this Dragon, there is an angle where BDS could just look to rush Nash, and they're pinging it right now, so they could just run straight to that objective. Vitality don't have TP on Perkz, they need to be really careful, and I think they've realized it. They realize if they rush down this Baron as 3, the top side tempo falls apart, BDS can sneak it, but Photon has TP, so he can solo this Dragon while they stay on the map. Bo has respawned. Graphics update 8 seconds on that ultimate as well, the cease and desist alongside the rest. Vitality's ultimate up and available shortly. The mid-tier 1 still stands for Vitality, a point of strength that has allowed them to maintain some control across the map despite being picked here and there, particularly Bo, who is having a rough game. BDS haunt the red side jungle, looking to dare Vitality, dare Bo to step on in one more time. Scary. They don't have any vision. Kaiser just based. He needs to refresh his wards. They need to throw in a hawk shot here quickly. They need to get information as to what BDS are up to. Sheo's not even in the pit. Their jungler is standing on red. Bo, does he have a ward? Yes, he does. They have no idea. They're still behind Neon, that no flash. Buff. Oh, Bo, you've got to be so careful. Sheo spotted on top of Bo, but he got to try to turn around. Good chains of corruption, and Sheo's engaged. Finally is punished, but no! Bo dies for the 8th time this game. Perkz turns it around, though, and now Adam trying to trade onto Photon, but this Gwen is having none of it. Perkz with a monstrous Emperor's Divide, and Nuke is divided from his health bar. Adam will ghost away, but the jungler and mid laner is traded, but Perkz dies as well, alongside Neon, who fell somewhere in the fight, and I missed it. Photon is keeping Vitality alive. He's doing so much work in these fights, and he's got 3 items right now. Will only get stronger, level 17 on this Gwen. He's just snipping through every target he can get his hands on. Neon is just running the entire game. Sheo's coming over this wall here, and Neon just has to escape the Wukong. Surprised Sheo didn't die here. Varus ult lands, Vi ult lands. The Gwen even gets a small combo off with a Varus Q, but he's just too tanky. Doesn't fall to the damage, manages to escape with the more proc. And then, as Neon, look at him on the top right here, he just has to run. First it was a Wukong, now it's an Akali. He's just playing a horror game. Perkz gets the kill onto Sheo eventually. And then I think he might overcommit it here a little bit too much. Tries to get onto Adam to get the kill, but he dashes away, and then he does the ult onto Nuke, but he still takes damage from the E. Has flash up, but he gets knocked. It's Photon and Perkz against the world here. I think Bo is just a punching bag. Yeah, it's been a rough game. 0-8-2. It has been, oh god, all right, Nuke, well done there. That was certainly an amount of damage done by an Akali, but Baron started. It's time for another go. These last few fights have been frenetic, they've been scrappy, and they have been a little bit indecisive. Sheo has got a flank, he could get in on here, he's been so good this game. Adam into the backside, Bo tries to go on through! Bo gets Adam! And now they're going to try and turn it around. Massive damage onto Perkz, goes golden, but Crownie's going to have a double shot, and they'll double tap Perkz in the head. Sheo and Nuke with an amazing flank. Neon and Kaiser offered nothing to that fight. They just died instantly. Perkz falls as well. It's on Bo. Doesn't have any vision in the pit. He survives, but at what cost? Photon's running mid. They're looking to end. Nuke's just based as well. Maybe he TP's back here once he sees the Akali. Can Photon end against Nuclear Int? It's a level 17 Gwen with 3 items. Bo could try and steal 3,000 HP. He's dead. Another death in the column for Bo. Photon backs out of the base. The end doesn't happen. You can't really blame him. He had no vision. He had no wards. He had no idea what the health bar was. He may as well just try and blast cone in. It's not like he's worth that much gold anyway. I think the kill might have reset it anyway, but there's not much that BDS can do despite getting that Baron. Baron secured. Let's see a replay again, because finally a clean fight for BDS. This flank from Sheo is just immaculate. What happens here? Adam goes in first. Neon and Kaiser think they're safe. And all of a sudden, the Wukong out of the bush gets onto both the carries. Then watch Nuke here with the R2. Straight through Kaiser, he's safe. Now it's just 3 people left for Vitality. Perkz has to pop the stopwatch. Photon can't really help in a 1 versus 4. Adam risking his life to give Sheo a good position there. And with this Baron, they'll get this mid tower. Didn't realize we were back to Call of Duty. Feels like it's 25 kill streak because Nuke living up to his name with that one. Phenomenal kill at the end of that. 4.5 items on Crownie as well, despite the rough laning phase. 5-0-4, a stellar game from him.
Sheo, though, the absolute standout, 7-1-7. This Wukong has run this game. Bo has not been so difficult, but maybe Kaiser can find all the world, all the game on one arrow. Labrov taken out by his former team. Bo, though, it's a shuriken flip, will not have the E2 come on through.
Yeah, Photon though is looking for Sheo. He has flash. Perkz is playing really aggressive here.
Praised him, but maybe Sheo gets punished. Photon continues to chase, continues to try and bring the Monkey King down. Shut down by Photon's Gwen.
50 seconds on the respawn, and looking at the minimap here, I think the dragon is spawning soon. We don't have the exact timer, but it will spawn, I think, before Sheo is alive. I think Vitality just want to push out waves here, reset, be back on the map on the bot side, and try to secure this soul for themselves. I think it'll help the Gwen tremendously in fights if she has the soul, the Cloud Soul, so much movement speed to work with alongside the Ghost, but we'll have to look at this fight again. Crownie dashes out of the way of the arrow, which is understandable, but then it hits the Nami instead. If he got hit by that, he could just cleanse out and everything would be fine.
Sushi on ice.
Sushi on ice, Bo slam dunk and gets the kill here. E2 hits the Vi like you highlighted, but Bo has the Q to stop him if he goes for it. Photon here just sees Sheo a little bit too far up, tries to punish, and they end up getting the kill. Vitality will pick up this dragon. Sheo is still in the graveyard, but BDS barreling down mid to get this tier 2.
The drag to the Baron is still on, so Crownie with a half of a minion wave will look to try and get themselves an inhibitor turret nuke. And the top lane in the mini-map you can spot. Looking for a tier 2 up there as well. Photon though, 5-1-3, 4 items stopwatch is not a man, or in this case, a doll come to life that you want to step up to.
I can hear the players screaming they want to take a fight, Vitality, but Sheo...
He's going 1v1 versus a level 17 Azir. He's winning it! But forced out the stopwatch. There's an Azir turret there as well. Has the stopwatch. Looking at Q! Gets the kill! Sheo is just a monster. Bo eats a culling on his way to the grave. Crownie is not a man to be denied this game. Neon just about alive. Nuke flashing on away. Photon gets the turret shut down. Now it's his turn to go into the back end of this one. He's getting slowed down by Adam and shut down. Gwen eats a taste of her own medicine, not immune to that.
Where are the waves? Adam's got a cannon minion in top. Top wave's coming in slowly. There's a mid wave too. 30 seconds on Perkz, 50 seconds on Bo. Neon and Kaiser need to do their best to clear out these creeps. No neutral objective, so BDS can just try their best. Worst case, they'll get 2 inhibitors. Best case, they can end the game.
Kaiser lands the arrow. But there's no real follow-up. Sheo taken low, but not down. The poke, the bot lane. It's not been the same level of dominance that we saw in the early levels. Now BDS have broken this base open. BDS looking to go to 5 games and starts to push towards the top end of that table. The dream of top 2 is in there. Sheo goes in again. Are you not entertained? Kaiser sure isn't.
Sheo gets the bot lane off Vitality, but Perkz is back. He's TP behind them. Can they get out here, Vitality?
You think you're good? Wait till you meet the Western Goat. Perkz goes on in, gets a kill. Sheo now must escape, but there's nowhere for him to go. Maybe I've spoken too soon. We'll look to make Poe's life a little bit difficult, but the soldiers go forward and bring down Sheo.
A lot of gold over to Vitality, but what is the play? 60 seconds on Sheo. I saw Photon pinging one of the super creeps that was in mid. They're pinging the inhib. See if they can push down and get that objective as quickly as possible. A lot of confidence from Sheo to look for the turn there. 20% HP. Go onto their bot lane, no flash. That could have been a game-winning play. Respawns came back just in time. Bo looking for camps. Photon pushing out mid, Perkz pushing out top, and we'll get a moment to breathe here as Baron's on up for the next minute. It's going to be a reset for both these teams and another fight.
It does feel like every time you think a team has made a decisive play, a way to win, BDS getting the Baron, Perkz on the other side for Vitality, they just get punished a moment later.
Yeah. This turn from Sheo, he's recalling, says, hang on a second, this is an opportunity to win the game. And he goes for it, and massive respect. A lot of players there would just base and just take the easy way out, but didn't account for the TP behind from Perkz. As much as it looked good here, getting out is another question. Nice flash Q from Bo there, lands onto Labrov, the ult onto Crownie, and then Sheo has nowhere to go. Eventually falls 1,000 gold over to Perkz from Crownie. Gets a shutdown onto Sheo as well, I think. So you can see he's got Rabadon's death cap now and a Giant's belt. Try and make himself a little bit more tanky, maybe build towards something like a Initialise. We'll have to see what he chooses. Try and get some top push here. Vitality have control, Baron in 15.
Bo, having been undefeated coming into the LEC, now has the most deaths of a single player in this season. Previous deaths with Targamas, but now Perkz.
He's dead.
Maybe I should have been looking at the screen a little bit more as Perkz goes down. Barons, 4 seconds off spawning. That's a bad time to lose your mid laner.
It is. Vitality do the right thing, though. They go mid, just push down to the inhibitor, get as many waves out of the way as possible. But Crownie responds well. Goes top, doesn't even go towards the Baron yet. Wants to make sure they have a wave to play on in top lane. Should just be an easy Baron. I think they're scared of an end here. Sheo's basing. BDS are not certain if they want to do this Baron. Now they are. They only see Neon. They see Photon bot. They know Nuke has enough time. And they know they can get this Baron down quick enough.
Wave shoving in top side, but BDS are leaving it for now. They'll go claim it once they have the Baron. Bo trying to find his way on over. It has been a very difficult game for him on this 5. Baron secured. Photon secures that tier 2. And this game's still on a knife's edge, though. BDS in the advantage with the Baron.
It is. I think this might come down to an Elder. Unless someone makes a mistake here, Vitality will just have to hold the siege of the Baron and then find a way to this Elder. And what BDS will try to do is keep Vitality in their base and then turn towards that objective and burst it down. Let's see how both teams play it. Mid inhib is down, so BDS can afford to play on bot waves. Adam has TP, so he can split away from his team.
I hope you're sitting securely on the edge of your seats, everyone, because I feel like we're about a minute away before a very explosive fight. Full build for Crownie. He's got himself a bloodthirster alongside the rest. That goal graph is certainly an experience.
It is, and I think Vitality was ahead for, what, 35 minutes of that game with hardly any kills. Oh, they're engaging, actually. Arrow is going to go wide. Cleanse up on Crownie. Adam's pushing mid, can respond with a TP at a moment's notice. But this late in the game, hitting towers, especially tier 2s, in a straight 5v5 is really hard, especially against an Azir. They will get it eventually, now that Adam's pushed mid. But BDS showing a lot of respect.
Crownie throws off the culling, but only gets about 20% of Perkz HP. He's not at risk of having to go back right now. Nuke on a flank was spotted out by Kaiser.
30 seconds on this Elder. BDS are just going to keep these waves in. Here comes a tidal wave. Do they engage on it? Neon stepping up.
Thinking about it. Crownie steps forward, but he's going to get assistance, and he goes absolutely miles. Where has he gone? It's like dancing. He's been put on ice. Perkz throws down the Emperor's Divine, trying to hold the lines. Adam goes golden. Vitality still alive, but now Perkz diving forward. Goes golden himself. Has used that stopwatch. Bo gets a start to Labrov, who goes over the wall, staying alive.
Look at Photon go
for Photon. Snip, and the strings of fate are cut. Vitality find 3. BDS, it's all thrown away. Crownie's about to meet the wrong end of a giant pair of shears, and the garden is pruned, shut down to the hands of Bo.
Where are the waves, though? They're all in Vitality's base. This is going to be a really frustrating play. They cannot end the game. They will just get the Elder Dragon. What a mess. What an absolute mess. Bo just got pulled. It is indeed all the way to the back line of BDS and somehow got out alive. Guardian Angel not even procced. Gwen just had 3 or 4 members of BDS standing on top of her, and Photon was melting straight through them. Elder goes down. There will be another fight. No Baron for 3 minutes, 30 seconds, so it's not like Vitality can turn towards another massive objective. They just have to end the game off this. So much confidence from Vitality, and it's Neon, I think, just calling, go, go, go here. Let's look for a play. Bo follows up. Look how far he goes. And he gets out from there. Crownie flashes to the side. Bo cues back, and then the Azir and Gwen are just free hitting through the front line of BDS. Adam does his best to try to get some damage down, but Nuke stands no chance. And the gap close from Vitality is fantastic. The Ghost, the Cloud Soul, the Azir dashing forwards. BDS can run, but they can't hide.
Nowhere to hide, and it feels like for the first time this game, Sheo's ultimate does not cause catastrophic damage in a team fight. He's been so good. You feel like he's done everything right this game in so many ways, but that time around he just can't quite make it land. Where now Vitality with the Elder, with a wave, begin to shove in.
This is where Vitality will just pull the trigger. BDS, maybe the smartest call here is just to drop the inhib. Culling can be used to buy 1 more wave's time, but they have to defend the Nexus. There's no reason to step up here. If they do, I can tell you Bo will be flying right at them, and they'll try to start a fight straight away. Mid inhib will fall. They can't get triple inhib. There's no top wave. So Vitality, what's the plan here? Just push in mid and bot and try to end on it. Sheo wants to proxy the wave. You can see him running through bot, threatening some kind of minion clear. So Vitality need to herd these waves in and try to poke BDS out. What does BDS do? Do they engage?
Vitality trying to play Grim Reaper. They want this to be the death push. BDS, they've got to hold on. They've got to wait for this Elder Dragon to pop. Surely, Crownie just out of range of that Chains of Corruption. Perkz on the other side. Stun onto Adam. One turret falls. The Nexus beginning to get increasingly bare. Bo goes in. He's once again taken absolutely into Narnia. But is it the Lion, the Witch, or the wardrobe he's dealing with? He's taken down, but he's got a GA this time around. Adam taken so low. Remember, the Elder Dragon can start to roar. Adam is down. Photon on a killing spree once more. Perkz gets a kill while he's a damn statue of Vitality at 6 and 2.
What a game from Vitality. Constantly downing kills, but always fighting back. Amazing end to the game. 2 small waves to play on an Elder Dragon, and they managed to pull it off. BDS found so many amazing picks. What a great game from Sheo as well to fight back against Bo. But what mental resilience from Bo to just keep going in. Once you die, and you die so many times, just try again. And Bo kept finding the backline and buying enough space so that Photon and Perkz could take over.
It was extraordinary stuff from them. And, you know, BDS are going to feel hard done by. They did so well to recover the early game from that bot lane. They did so well to get those kills, get the Barons. Looked like they had the chance, but it was so back and forth. Every advantage was countered by a play, by a teleport, by another pick. And in the end, it was Vitality that just proved slightly too strong.
Definitely were. And a lot of those fights could have gone either way.
Yeah.
It was a game of inches in those fights, you know. But yeah, BDS were getting the better hand. They managed to get things like the Baron. It's just that fight on bot, that Vitality engage on that tier 2 was everything. That got them the Elder, that got them the win. If they didn't pull the trigger there, it was really hard to find their way into this bot side river. But they did, and it worked. So massive call from them to take that fight.
Nuke's on screen right now, and he looks disappointed, and you can understand. The Akali looked really good for periods of that game, and it's so frustrating because you were looking about tying the game score with Vitality, looking to be at the top end, and that game hurts that. You know, they are still a good team. They have still surpassed so many expectations, but I think the expectations they had for themselves probably not met this game, unfortunately.
You can vote for your player of the game.
Oh, yeah.
At LEC on Twitter, Photon, Perkz, and Kaiser. Kaiser a bit the unsung hero, just kind of clearing out as much vision as possible. Had some really good arrows in those fights, you know, finding the pick onto Labrov when Crownie dashed away. But yeah, I think it was just an exciting game to watch. Those are the kind of League of Legends games where, you know, you're on the edge of the seat, it's neck and neck, comebacks apiece, and it's just a pleasure.
Yeah, it really is. And there's a lot of good names on there where you feel like a lot of them could serve. I think Photon is perhaps the obvious one with how the Gwen played in those fights, but Perkz got so much out of the early game. Kaiser did so well.
I think your name should be on there, because I think that ending team fight, you did an amazing job. It's your first time on the Winter Split, but I think your cast was phenomenal. So massive job to you. Massive congratulations to Initialise.
You're too kind. Thank you, guys.
And I think we're about ready for an interview with Bo. There's going to be a translator with him, which is going to be amazing to get those insights.
Amazing stuff. Well, without further ado, let's throw it over to Georgia and Bo for an interview.
Thank you very much, guys. Bo, thank you so much for joining me for the interview. So excited, actually, for this, because so many people want to hear from you. My first question is very simple. What in the world happened in this game?
这场比赛到底发生了什么事情？
其实我记不太清楚了，因为打得有点太混乱了，前面就是自己的失误有点太多了，失了很多次。
Actually, I couldn't remember because it's like all skirmish all the time. It's kind of a very chaotic game.
Very well. Talking about chaotic and chaos, the voice comms got released from last week, and there was one particular fight where you guys were doing Dragon, and you were saying Dragon, 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 and Photon was saying Baron, 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 Baron. How do you guys differentiate between who to follow on the comms?
就是对吧？上周你们比赛的时候 ，Photon 一直在叫 Baron， 一直叫 Dragon， 到底你们听谁的呢？然后就是非常混乱，感觉。
其实我们队伍一直以来都感觉有一点混乱，就是没有一个特别明确的指挥吧。就是可能打比赛的时候，多少会有一点紧张嘛，所以说这种情况下其实是正常的。
So it's perfectly normal that we have different goals in the game. Sometimes when the game it's very chaotic, everybody makes a call, and we are trying to improve on that department. Now we don't have like a short quarter, but we are like building our communication here, and hopefully it will improve fast.
Well, it looks good already. I hope you guys do get that improvement that you're seeking for. One more question here. You're coming in really hot and people really believe in your aggressive playstyle. Give me one jungler in the LEC that has pushed you to your limits.
One jungle?
对，就是你来的时候，
我知道后面他说给一个
你觉得最厉害的，然后让你也觉得就是很有压力的打比赛的时候。
One jungle player.
Yeah.
Yaki. G2 jungle. Yeah.
And why is that?
为什么呢
？Because.
你说什么
？Take your time.
为什么？
因为他操作很好。
Oh, his mechanic is really good.
Yeah.
Oh, so we're talking about skill matchup to matchup. Very nice. Okay. And one last question, because they're pushing me, but I'm going to ask it anyway. How has the integration been in Europe? How are you enjoying living in Berlin?
你觉得在柏林生活怎么样？然后欧洲给你感觉怎么样？
我觉得柏林其实挺好的，然后给我的感觉就是非常的，就是自由吧，然后有很多空余的时间去做我喜欢的事情，挺好的，我觉得非常好，柏林生活对我。
He really loves his life in Berlin. He has a lot of free time. He can do whatever he likes, and so he really loves Berlin.
Oh, that's great. Well, Bobby, thank you so much for the translation. Bo, I hope I don't butcher this. Sheshe?
Sheshe, yeah.
Sheshe.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, guys. We're going to go to a very short break. Let's go, guys. We're going to go to a short break, and we'll be back for Game 3.
Okay.
Thank you very much. Thank you.